Now, the level where you have seen the oil price now, is it quite sustainable, particularly as regards to Nigeria? We're talking about shoring up our foreign reserve. The foreign reserve is actually at about $30 billion now. Do you see that sustainable, and do you see the foreign reserve going up further?
I think a lot of times some quotas like to be very sensational when talking about oil price in terms of fluctuation in the oil market. In the past 1 or 2 weeks, we've seen for a fact that the dynamics that affect the movement of crude oil price are quite vast, and crude oil price tend to be a very elastic commodity. So what happened is that the price was reacting to different data coming out of the United States, and the same data that drove crude oil price down came out last week again on Wednesday, and the data was quite favorable to crude oil price, and we were seeing that. So in all, it's more important to take a very the approach of a medium, a very short term look in terms of looking at the month 2 or 3 average, as against just looking at the point-to-point price of crude oil. If you're looking at the point-to-point, that you can start getting concerned about where Nigerian income will be in terms of crude oil revenue. But if you're looking at an average basis, understanding the fact that crude oil prices will continue to fluctuate, I think there's no cause for alarm right now. Although there still remains some downward pressure on crude oil price, but what has resulted in the fluctuation that we witnessed in the last 2 weeks is not something that's sustainable, as data suggests last week.
All right, let's look at the oil price for this week. What is your outlook?
Well, there's some, towards the end of last week, we saw some level of recovery, although the WTI is still trading below $50, and the Brent is just above $50 at about 51 plus. But this morning there has been some negative pressure all across board, and we're yet to see if that is sustainable. But we are more important in waiting for the time when we have traders in the United States come online and join the trading activities. Right now, it's more about trading in Europe and late trading in Asia. So by the middle afternoon now, and by the time we have what the crude oil stock in the United States is by Wednesday, what it increased or decreased by, that will immediately be what will dictate the direction of crude oil price for the week.
All right. When you look at some of the companies in the upstream sector of the oil industry, talking about Conoil, Forte Oil, Mobil, MRS, Oando, Seplat. Of course, Seplat is an indigenous company. What do you have to say about this company, considering that we've seen even in the stock market, the prices have continuously remained unchanged? What are the challenges you see this company is facing, particularly the indigenous company, Seplat?
Well, for Seplat, I think the Seplat case is quite peculiar in the sense that for the better part of 2016, the company production the company's export was quite hindered by the fact that the Bocados terminal was taken offline, and that has affected the company's output a lot, and we think that will still continue for the first quarter of 2017. But as we move, so we might still see the company reporting a loss position during the first quarter of 2017. But as we move towards the second quarter, and we believe that during which we believe the Bocados export pipeline will be brought back online, we think there will be some level of improvement, although it might take another quarter to actually see this reflect in the company's book.
Okay, so what is your general outlook for this company in the upstream sector?
Well, compared to what it was when we started 2016, the first quarter, on a year-on-year basis, there should be an improvement for all across board. Because when we started 2016, we had crude oil price trading at sub $30 level. Now we have crude oil price at trading at an average of $50 for the first quarter of 2017. So if we are looking at the year-on-year basis, we should see a significant improvement, even if production from these companies remain at the same level.
Okay, thank you very much, Jubril Karim, for talking to us. Now let's quickly still review some of those stocks there coming from the Nigerian energy market. Kono oil, of course, remains unchanged at 35 naira. That's at Friday with a volume of 4,140. 40 oil is trading at 47 naira 95 kobo. That price declined by 0.98% with a volume of 105,033. Mobil remains unchanged at 280 naira. MRS, of course, remains unchanged, 39 naira 3 kobo. And O&O is sold at 5 naira 5 kobo as at Friday. That's down 0.79% with a volume of 548,114. Seplat is at 398 naira unchanged. And Total remains at 274 naira 55 kobo. We'll take a quick break now. When we return, we'll look at still look at the Nigerian energy market, but this time electricity. Do stay with us.